the origin of the Taiping Jing and the path of harmony. In 2025, I observed that my relatives and friends were constantly inundated with a flood of information, much of which was nothing more than junk. These pieces of information, primarily derived from mobile apps and social media, often lacked real value and, in some cases, even misled us. Immersed in the virtual world, we spend vast amounts of time browsing irrelevant content instead of engaging in independent thought and analysis. This phenomenon has caused many to gradually lose their critical thinking abilities, becoming passive and unable to make wise decisions. In our incessant screen scrolling, we often neglect more important aspects of life, such as genuine communication with family and friends, reading and acquiring new knowledge, or reflecting on our inner selves. Over time, this wasted time not only affects our quality of life but also stalls personal growth. Since ancient times, the Taiping Jing, the scripture of great peace, a classic Daoist text, has advocated for following the Tao, the way, and maintaining the harmony of yin and yang, aiming to bring salvation to all beings. However, this great scripture was deemed a threat by later emperors who sought to alter, obscure, or even replace it with counterfeit versions to subjugate the people and consolidate their rule. These actions buried the true Tao beneath layers of dust, allowing counterfeit doctrines to spread and deceive future generations. The Taiping Jing preaches equality in the Tao, striving to harmonize yin and yang and rectify chaos. Its teachings shine like a beacon, exposing injustice and imbalance in human society, especially pointing out the greed and partiality of rulers. The emperors of later generations realized that widespread belief in the Taiping Jing would undermine their ability to oppress the populace and sustain their luxurious lifestyles. Consequently, they enlisted scholars to heavily alter the text, transforming its original grand and righteous doctrines into counterfeit teachings that served only the ruling class. The counterfeit scriptures promoted submission as a virtue, glorifying forbearance as a moral quality, and advising the people to accept oppression without resistance. In stark contrast, the authentic Taiping Jing teaches the importance of preserving the Tao and maintaining balance, standing against the counterfeit's call for complacency. Though the counterfeit scriptures once flourished, the true Tao never disappeared. The Tao represents the natural laws, which no emperor could ever erase. The harmony of yin and yang is the fundamental principle of the Tao. The counterfeit texts distorted this principle, creating imbalances, whether an excess of yin or yang, leading to societal unrest and cosmic disharmony. When yin and yang fall out of balance, nature responds with disasters, leaving fields of corpses and people in despair. Such calamities are the price of adhering to counterfeit doctrines. When rulers indulge in greed and lose their sense of balance, the imbalance will inevitably correct itself in tragic ways. Great catastrophes are not sudden. They are the bitter fruits sown by false doctrines. Despite centuries of counterfeit texts, the true Tao, like eternal stars, remains, waiting to be rediscovered. Just as mountains and rivers cannot be buried, the Tao stands steadfast between heaven and earth. When cries of suffering shake the earth and the people are displaced, humanity will finally awaken. Counterfeit doctrines bring not only confusion and destruction but also betrayal of their fundamental essence. Today, we call upon the world to rectify these distortions and revive the great teachings of the Taiping Jing. Let us cast off the chains of counterfeit doctrines and return to the path of the Tao. Only by doing so can we restore the balance of yin and yang, achieve harmony among all beings, and avoid the suffering caused by misguided beliefs. The Tao exists between heaven and earth, indestructible and unalterable. The counterfeit doctrine's fleeting prosperity is but a momentary fog in the river of history. The radiance of the true Tao will ultimately pierce the darkness and illuminate the world. May people no longer cling to the illusions of counterfeit doctrines, but return to the righteous path of the Tao, ensuring that yin and yang remain in harmony and averting irreversible tragedies.